Well, that was a very, very poor game of football, wasn't it? Very, very boring indeed. I actually ended up playing some games while I was watching that. So I guess you could say I wasn't 100%, focused on the game, but it was so boring. I couldn't help myself. I actually ended up playing some games while watching the football. I don't really do that very often. That just shows how boring the game really was. Of course, there were moments. There were a lot of chances for Chelsea, and I think Ospina was Arsenal's best player by a mile tonight. I mean, if he didn't play as well as he did, we would have lost this comfortably 2 or 3-0 probably. We had 1 or 2 chances, but to be fair, a 0-0 is quite lucky. It's actually quite a good result for Arsenal, bouncing back after the Nottingham Forest terrible day out. Absolutely terrible. And I saw a joke. I'm sure a lot of you will probably get this. Maybe some of you won't, but it was the worst visit to a Forest since Logan Paul. That made me chuckle a little bit. So tonight, of course, it's the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. It didn't feel particularly special. I guess that's one of the benefits of having the FA Cup semi-finals at Wembley. It does make it feel a bit more important, a bit more special. But going away to Stamford Bridge, it's a place where we've struggled for many, 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 many seasons. To come away with a 0-0 after not a brilliant performance, but it was solid enough to not concede, which is definitely a good thing. You could say we got lucky in some areas. Chelsea really should have scored. I thought, like I said, without Ospina, it would have been a lot worse. So I think in the end, we can be somewhat content with that result. It means that we do go to the Emirates and, a 1-0 would take us through, which is nice. I think that Chelsea will score at the Emirates. So there's no doubt in my mind we are going to have to score 2, maybe even 3 goals. Which, that doesn't bode very well. I don't know where to start today. Iwobi, maybe? I mean, he's featured a lot in these episodes recently, and I've just realised I'm wearing a blue shirt. It's not a Chelsea shirt, I promise you. That looks really bad, isn't it? I'm doing an Arsenal video against Chelsea, and I'm wearing blue. Iwobi he's dominated my topics, I want to say, in these videos, because I'm sick to death of him. Now, he's not a horrible guy, of course. He's actually a really chill, humble guy, it seems. When I watch the Arsenal videos or the interviews after games, if you subscribe to the Arsenal channel, you'll see that Iwobi is very much like Oxlade-Chamberlain was. Very, very cool, very, he makes a lot of jokes. He's relaxed. He's kind of a nice guy to be around, I guess. Obviously, I haven't met him in real life. But in terms of footballing ability, not looking great right now. He certainly isn't doing himself any favours. Somehow he's making it into the first team. Okay, we haven't got Ozil. We didn't start with Alexis. Maybe he just about gets into the team. But, I think if anything, it just shows the lack of quality we have in depth. Without Sanchez and Ozil, we have to go with Iwobi, Welbeck, Walcott. And then you've got Chelsea bringing on freaking Bakayoko. They have Pedro ready. Actually, was it Pedro? I don't know if he was on the bench or not. But you look at the bench compared to ours. The Chelsea bench is just incredible. It's so much better. And by the way, just a quick note before I forget to mention this, but Morata, again, last time I watched Chelsea was the Arsenal game. And he was awful. Missed plenty of chances. Should have beaten us. And tonight, again, against Arsenal, absolutely terrible. He looks awful. And it doesn't make sense. He started off so well. I remember saying he's hit the ground running. He's doing really well. One of the best signings of the summer. But yeah, that's not going to plan for Chelsea either. But hey, at least they've got some players behind him that are somewhat capable of scoring goals. I mean, Hazard, one of the best players in the world. Willian, he's just a brilliant player. And then we've got players like Welbeck, who, like I've mentioned many times, looks like he's just been born and he can't control his legs. Iwobi, he's through on goal with Sanchez to his left, Welbeck to his right. Literally just pass it to one of them, preferably Sanchez, mate. And we could have scored. And what does he do? One of the worst passes I have ever seen in a professional football game. You guys will know what I'm talking about. That particular attack in the second half. Twitter just blew up with, what the hell was that? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't, because Iwobi doesn't have that final quality. He's pretty good on the ball. He's strong. He's quite a big guy. He's holding off players well. He's bringing players into play with the easy, short, sideways passes, playing it back sometimes. But anytime he turns forward towards the goal and, tries a shot or tries a through ball or maybe a pass over the top of the defence, it just never, ever goes right. And I feel like, this is Arsenal Football Club. We're a massive club. And we are really struggling at the moment, especially over the last 10 years. We've only won FA Cups, which is somewhat okay. But it just shows you how big our problems are when, we're going to be battling with Liverpool for so many signings, you realise. Now that they've sold Coutinho, we need a winger, they need a winger. But why would Lamar, for example? Why would Mahrez? Why would Draxler? Why would anyone else want to go to Arsenal when they could go to Liverpool, play for a team that's on the up, play for a manager that is so inspirational? I know Jurgen Klopp has a few haters, but he has a lot of lovers as well. I mean, I love Jurgen Klopp. I think he's a fantastic manager. And I'm really jealous that Liverpool have him when we're stuck with Wenger still. He's a very energetic guy. He's contagious. I would go to Liverpool. Oxlade-Chamberlain's gone to Liverpool for that exact reason. Not only does he love the club, I know he grew up supporting Liverpool apparently, he just wanted to get away from Arsenal and play for Liverpool. And you know what? Whilst it hasn't been the greatest of moves for him, I think he's at the better club now. Arsenal cannot compete with that interest. I would rather go to Liverpool than Arsenal. And that says a lot. And then when you bring in Chelsea, United, City, Tottenham, how are we going to bring anyone in? So we're stuck with players like Iwobi, like Welbeck, like Theo Walcott. Lacazette today, I mean, he barely even touched the ball. And when he did okay, You can see that he was our one bit of hope up front. But even so, without the likes of Ozil and Alexis behind him, even he can't do anything. He's not that quality to carry the team like Ozil and Alexis can. It's just so frustrating. I tweeted earlier on, Alexis, he gets on the ball once he's come on, and he obviously can't run from the halfway line to the goal. You're going to have to pass it at some point. So he'll look up and he'll see El Neni, Welbeck, Iwobi. I mean, what's he going to do? Of course he's not going to want to pass it. I mean, why would you want to pass it to El Neni? It'll end up back with the keeper. Pass it to Welbeck, he'll fall over. Pass it to Iwobi, he'll end up shooting and it'll go out the stadium. At least he had Lacazette in front of him at some point. Oh, it's just... Wait, no, didn't he come off... See, this is what happens when you play games at the same time as watching the game. You miss little things. Did Alexis come on for Lacazette? I think he did. It was just bad. It was just a bad game. And, the best thing I can do to summarise Iwobi and Welbeck and, players of that quality that are really struggling right now, let's take bottom of the league. I think it's still Swansea. Would Iwobi get into the Swansea team? Maybe. I think he probably would just about get in the Swansea team. So let's move up a little bit. Let's go kind of mid-table. Would he get into a mid-table team? Crystal Palace, Newcastle... Actually not too sure who's, around the 10th place at the moment, but I don't think he would. And that says it all. Yet he's in our first team. First team! It's infuriating. It really is. And, you're hearing reports that City have agreed with Sanchez. Oh, it makes me laugh, this, actually. So Sanchez has two offers, basically. If he goes to Man City now, he would get something ridiculous like £15 million as a sign-on. And Arsenal would get, between 20 and 25. But if he waits until the end of the summer and goes on a free, he will get a sign-on bonus of 30 million. See, now that's an easy answer for most people. It's like, well, I'll stay at this club for 6 months and get my salary, and then I'll go to City and get 30 million as a sign-on fee. I mean, why wouldn't you? But here's the funny thing is, it looks like he's going to be going now. He's willing to give up £15 million to leave this club now. I mean, how much of a joke is that? He wants to get away from Arsenal so badly, he's willing to ignore £15 million. It's just hilarious. We still don't know if Jack Wilshere is going to sign a new contract. He came off injured today. Fantastic news. One of our best players recently. We don't know about Mesut Ozil. It looks more and more likely that he will sign a contract, but he still hasn't done it. He could still very easily sign a pre-contract with Man United, Juventus, whoever it may be. We still have so many players with their futures kind of unknown, and that is not good enough. How many clubs can you see around the world as big as Arsenal in this much mess? Not only with results on the pitch, but with their player contracts. It's unheard of, and it's so immature of the club. It's so unprofessional. You've got all of these brilliant, I almost said world class, you've got all of these brilliant players, 2 world class players that could leave on a free. It's laughable. But anyway, today has finished 0-0, which is somewhat okay. Let's see what we can do at the Emirates when we play them again, and hopefully we'll make it into the final. But I think it's going to be a tough one, it really is. But once again, thank you for watching these reviews, guys. I know sometimes I just go on and on in negative ways, but it's Arsenal Football Club at the moment. It's a negative club. It really is. And I love the class of the club. I love the morals we have. I love the fact that we aren't, breaking the rules and being a really, spiteful and horrible club. We're a class club, but we're also a comedy club. We're laughable at the moment, and it's a real shame. But I will see you in the next Operation Arsenal episode.